From Wakefield, it's the Ice-T meme show starring Noel Dog, inviting you to join Noel Dog and his guest this week, Robert Cruz. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Noel Dog.
And good evening. As the red dot on my camera on my computer says go, and the date is Wednesday, the 10th of February, 2021. That means we're back for another edition of this show. Robert Cruz Perry returns back to the program as this week's guest. There's also been a lot happening in the news this past week, so let's get right to the segment I like to call
What happened last week with Noel Dog?
A lot of shit has happened in the news this past week, so let's cut to the bullshit and get right to the news. In a shocking move late last week, Fox News has canceled Lou Dobbs' program after coming to the news lately being involved in the multi-billion-dollar lawsuit promoting Trump's false election claims. Lou Dobbs is known as one of the top people to be contributing these false news to millions of people across the country. If Trump's 2021 couldn't be any worse, now one of his most well sheep has been fired, in Trump's words. Lou Dobbs' show getting canceled is like Tom Brady kissing his son. You love to see it. It was announced this past week that Parkland shooting star David Hogg will be creating a rival pill company against MyPillow. You're a fucking psychopath when a high schooler is doing better than you. Some sad celebrity news. Legendary actor Chris Plummer has died this past weekend at the grand old age of 91 years old. Plummer is known not only for his work on stage, but his extraordinary work also on the silver screen. But no role he's done is more famous than The Sound of Music as the lead actor and father of the Von Trapp family. It's pretty sad, when the only two roles you're known for are a Nazi military leader general, marrying a former nun who turns into your family nanny, and replacing someone who liked to touch kids being Ken Spacey. It was made official last week when the House of Representatives officially removed Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene from all her committee assignments. But Republicans haven't been this upset since Joe Biden won the election fair and square in November. Oh, wait, never mind. They're still bitching about it like little kids not getting something in the grocery store. And some bizarre entertainment news. Popular rapper Silent Toe, known for his hit song, Watch Me Whip, has been charged with murder of his cousin this past week. Kids in middle school haven't been this upset since their mom said they couldn't have a sleepover with their best friends. It's reported online that President Biden might potentially ban President Trump from receiving any future intelligence briefings, seeing as that's what happens with former presidents due to, his erratic behavior, according to President Biden. Personally, I think it'd be the funniest thing ever if he was given fucking false intelligence briefings that would ruin Trump's relationships with dictators, which would then get his daddy, Vladimir Putin, very upset. They'd probably have to call Child Protective Services on him. In a bizarre set of events, it was reported online that a group of Wisconsin middle school teachers are suspended after giving students an assignment that asked them how they would, quote, punish a slave. For a state that makes themselves out to be peaceful and loving, it seems like they got a couple of Rand Pauls on their hand. Some embarrassing news. Baseball legend Jose Canseco was TKO'd in the first round by 21-year-old Barstool Sports intern Billy Football Rough and Rowdy 13 this past weekend. The man built like two early 2000s Barry Bonds combined. You would have thought he would have knocked the intern out faster than rear-ass an elevator with a woman. Some exciting news. It was announced that the U.S. government passed a $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan in order to combat the current pandemic. I can imagine what it was like for everyone at Fox News who still has a show, RFK Jr., when they heard about this. Probably more mad at this than Andy Reid finding out he was not going to be able to have a double cheeseburger the night he lost the Super Bowl this past weekend. In some frightening news, Kansas City Chiefs assistant coach Britt Reid got into a dangerous multi-car accident last week, which would send a 5-year-old to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. It's reported that he had a few drinks as well as leaving the scene. Shit has been this bad for a Midwest state since Brett Favre cost the Minnesota Vikings a chance to play in the Super Bowl 10 years ago after throwing interception against the New Orleans Saints at the end of the game. In some more depressing political news, it was made official that former Vice President Mike Pence is starting a podcast, quote, to share the good word of conservatism, end quote. I know one thing to be sure is that Mike Pence won't have any women by himself as a guest on his podcast. Some world news. It was reported that the country of India restored 4G mobile internet in Kashmir after an 18-month ban. Good thing that this was in the U.S., or it would have been high school and college girls still remaining the Capitol building, not communists, because they couldn't make a TikTok in a Walmart. Some disgusting news. Armie Hammer has been dropped by his agency, WME, after numerous old disturbing tweets describing his cannibalism fantasies became public recently. What's even more disgusting is that people are just finding them now. Can't be, as bad as though your parents didn't your army when you were born, though. In some funny political news, according to Bloomberg Quick Take, it was being reported that Russia is loaning in vaccine participants with free ice cream. This sounds like something out of SpongeBob, when he wants to join the Celtics platoon, but he can't because he's not tough, so he has to join Winnie Hut General. I can see it going like this. What can I get you, comrade? Yeah, I'll have 3 scoops of coffee, Oreo, and the Moderna vaccine. That's my impression. And some more entertainment news. It was made official that former President Trump resigned from the Screen Actors Guild stating in his letter to them, quote, I no longer wish to be associated with the union after being potentially banned after having part in causing the January 6th Capitol building riots. I think it's time to switch out bad luck Brian for down bad Trump, seeing as he can't catch a break after losing the election. Boom. Representative AOC is coming to fire this past week for making false claims in regards to where she actually was during the Capitol building riots. This piece of news is like Christmas Day and their birthdays for Republicans, as they won't be happy anymore for the next 4 years. Some sad sports news: former boxing world champion Leon Spinks died of cancer at age 65 this past weekend. He's known for once being Muhammad Ali by decision. As the story broke, RFK Jr. immediately jumped on his computer and made some false conspiracy up, saying that he died from the COVID shot. Now, I don't know if Leon Spinks took the COVID shot, but Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is just known nowadays, not just as an embarrassment, but a conspiracy theorist when it comes to vaccines and the COVID vaccine. Boom, double roast. Wrestling news: former WWE superstar Gabe Tuff has come out transgender and is now going by the name Gabby Tuff this past week. I make a joke about that, but then I'd have all sorts of people coming after me. The NFL announced this year's Hall of Famers for the 2021 class of Hall of Fame, as Charles Woodson, Calvin Johnson, aka Megatron, and Peyton Manning were the headliners for this year's class. They should change the name, because I'm really looking forward to the 2021 class of Bad Hairlines going into Canton, Ohio this summer. And what was long awaited for the first time in its 55-year history, Super Bowl 55, this year will have a female ref officiating the game, Sarah Thomas, as she will be working as a down judge. Great. Now, what will this do? This will now teach young girls that they too can count to 4 on national television in front of millions of people. Which, in a weird news story I found, Candace Owens made it known on Twitter last week that she was thinking about running for president. This is a rarity, folks. This is something that's never been done before. If Candace Owens will be making history. I don't know if you knew that, but if she were to be elected, she would be the first female black white supremacist to ever run for president. The NFL announced that Aaron Rodgers took home the league's biggest award this past weekend, as he has won his 3rd NFL MVP award. Too bad Rodgers and company lost to a guy who French kisses his son every night before bed. It's being reported that Mike Lindell has released a 3-hour documentary he spent the last 5 days making, which proves his claims that China, amongst other major groups, stole the election. I guess when your company loses its main source of PR as Twitter, and it's stupid because sponsors, you have all the time to make a fucking pathetic attempt at a documentary. Some funny health news. Reportedly, this is reported, a Massachusetts man has reportedly swallowed his AirPods in his sleep this past week. Now, the next time some big music craze comes out, he really can have an out-of-body experience when listening to it. In some bizarre and down bad news, Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. was found to have stated live on Laura Ingraham show this past week that, quote, Fauci is a very sinister guy who has turned this country over to Big Pharma. It said that someone who's been so helpful and important to environmental problems that he's become more of an embarrassment than his nephew Joe Kennedy III. People are sharing their well wishes after woman, I should say, and people are sharing their well wishes after a woman went viral for claiming to have used Gorilla Glue to sell her hair, has shared new photos showing herself in a hospital. This is easy. This is just what happens with people who spend all the time on TikTok think for once. Then again, President Trump was on TikTok constantly, and he still thought wind turbines hurt the environment. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won the 2021 COVID Super Bowl, giving Tom Brady his 7th Super Bowl win after further cementing himself as the greatest of all time. Unless you're a Giants fan and you still think that Manning's better than Tom Brady after he's beaten him 2 years in the Super Bowl. That's what happened last week with the Nolan Dog. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Robert Cruz Perry as our guest on this week's edition of the ST Meme Show with Nolan Dog.
Everyone, welcome back to another episode. And big time, big deal here. This is number 10. Jesus, motherless fucking.
You hear me this time?
Fucker. I had to move my fucking car because someone else couldn't get the fuck out of there. Too much about weeboo.
Can you hear me with these ones?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. You're golden.
Right.
Oh, Jesus,
All
this is. I owe you a night at I owe you dinner on me at Applebee's.
No, it's fine.
Jesus, first I'm not. I'm late and all this bullshit. Then send the email late. Then I gotta move my car because some weebo can't move it out, drive on the snow. Then back out. Then the other person comes and move the car back. Jesus, well, I'm back, and this is, boys and girls, I am out of breath, but this is a special day, a big occasion. Although I expected it one day, it is now here, and it's a very special episode number 10. And we had to move some around, and this is why this person means such a great deal to myself and has a special spot in my heart, because we moved heaven and earth to make sure this could work. Not really, but he took time on his day to help a brother out when he had to find a new guest because another one couldn't do it. Sam Kaczynski, that's what I'm going to call this motherfucker out because he had COVID and it takes too much energy out. I guess doing stuff over video, which I thought was bullshit. So right now,
Wait, who was it?
Sam Kaczynski. I play tennis with him.
Oh,
He's
oh
great.
yeah.
So
yeah.
right now, him and this kid Liam Gangman, who's another friend of mine, and this other kid I play tennis with are on the blacklist for not coming back on for a while. But a special one. A few records have a new record has been set in another place in the standings for this episode. Mr. Rob Cruz is the first guest to come back on the show, the first guest ever to be on here, the first guest to ever have recorded an episode. And at first, it didn't start out that great, but we have now fixed it to some degree. Although we've had some other roadblocks. But now let's get right straight fucking into it because I'm not gonna beat around the motherfucking bush. A lot's happened since we last chatted a little over 2 months ago, both politically, socially, economically, and all sorts of other stuff in this grand country. So we're gonna talk about it. First, as I always do, I don't know if you tuned into any episodes besides maybe yourself, but I always ask the guests if they have anything to plug. Go ahead. You obviously don't have to if you don't want to, but if
I have nothing. I have nothing.
that's fine. We'll keep that way. But for those who are viewing here on YouTube, I mean, obviously, then also there'll be other people listening once I convert this. But if you're videoing this or seeing this on YouTube, I should say, or listening to this on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and all that other bullshit. There's an Instagram and Twitter account to follow because it gives updates and posts in regards to this podcast. So I don't have to keep saying that. Recently at Club Tennis Practice, people asked, "Oh, when's the next episode of the Ice Tea?" I was like, first of all, you motherfucker, it's not called the Ice Tea. It's called the Ice Tea and Meme Show. No, Doc, get it right. No wonder why that person's not gonna be a guest. Second of all, it's Thursdays. I always post on my stories, whether on Snapchat, Instagram, and stuff. It's always Thursdays at 9 a.m. It drops. In order to get the information, so I don't have to keep saying it, follow the Instagram and Twitter. It's on Instagram. It's the official Ice Tea and official ITM Studios. I post whenever an episode drops. So after this, I'll post about the recording. Then tomorrow I'll post when the episode's available. Although I'll be posting, after it drops, just because I'm not gonna be. You can't schedule, I don't think. And on Twitter, I post there. It's real, but it's capital REA, capital R, lowercase EA, capital LITM, and then capital S and Studios. The real ITM Studios on there. I post there more on Instagram and stuff, but it'll be on there eventually. But yeah, follow that account. Obviously, there's YouTube, and also for all you gamer nerds out there, I've created a Discord for the podcast. I mean, you gotta branch out, Rob. You gotta know your brand, like know yourself, know your worth, like whatever his name is said in his rap song. So no one's in there, but there'll be a link down below in this video, and there's also one on the channel to follow. But that's enough promotion for myself. I'll save it for the end again for those reviewing at the end. But before I also forget, as I said earlier in this, once this is all put together, I say this in my recording. This takes a lot of work and effort to do it all by myself, recording, editing, and not to mention, having a guest on and stuff like that. So if you could take a few seconds. I know I'm not like Joe Rogan, have supreme clout, but spend this extra few seconds. If you're seeing this on YouTube, hit the like button, follow, subscribe, whatever it may be, share, notifications, turn those on so you know when stuff drops. But it helps out if you do that stuff and help this channel, help a friend out, help a man out. This man's trying to become the next Johnny Carson, so you gotta help it out. If you're listening to this on audio versions, follow, click the little heart, share, and so on and so forth, and we'll make this grow into the biggest thing it can be. Anyways, without further ado, my dear pal Rob, how have you been doing since we last chatted on this show 2 months ago?
I've been doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I've been doing this. I've been trying my best to survive. There's definitely been a lot of stuff in the news which we can discuss, which I really, I mean, nowadays everyone's so into paying attention to the news, what's going on. So it's definitely been interesting. But I've been grinding. I mean, we talk so much after and not on. I mean, in social media, whatnot, constantly throughout the week. So it's not like there's anything new that we haven't gone over. I mean, there's something big happened as I was trying to John Wick myself into CVS when I was walking through the parking lot. I saw an interesting car in the Benny's parking lot, the Joppa parking lot next door that I can talk about. But no, nothing's really happening. I mean, just been doing this. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to do my best to always improve with this and
grinding and so on and so forth. But hey, that's life. But nothing else is new. What I want to say, which I'll describe about the incident. So for those who don't know, I went to CVS, and one of my favorite candies of the world is butterscotch discs, which is equivalent of like a 80-year-old grandmothers. They always have those out. Mine didn't, but I was in there, and my sisters who were there while I was driving there, and I didn't see them there, and I wasn't trying to deal with that inside the embarrassment that would have been. And so I'm waiting my car, I drive around, and then I leave the parking lot, I leave, and I come back. And I come back in the parking lot, and I walk in, and I look to the right, just see what's going on. The next parking lot over, and I see a car that Rob, you would know very well. It's a Jeep with a hard top and a Dallas Cowboy sticker on the back with a cover over the back wheel. And I'm like, no fucking way! Thank God I didn't go into Job Lot to get the butterscotch discs there, because that would have been a fucking conversation that I wouldn't want to have. And no, for damn sure fact, you definitely wouldn't want to have. And I was like,
Nope.
no. And I'm like, I know who that is, because there was the butterfly cover on the back of the Jeep. And I was like, there's only one person I know who does this, rides that car. And for those who don't know this, it's myself and Rob's former old boss, Tracy McGarty herself, the man, the woman, the myth, the legend. I don't want to say man because I have all sorts of people coming at me for misgendering, but it was a it was a I don't praise the God that much, but I was praising the God that I didn't go into job lot instead, because that would have been a wild journey.
Yeah, that would have been something.
That would have been something. I wonder how she's been doing with their new boss, Police Chief Chow, now that he's the new guy in charge over at the police station. If she's still there, who knows if she left after the other guy retired? But it's interesting. I know that I had mentioned it to you earlier about camping. For those that don't know, we both worked for a few years together at this Discovery Camp. I'm still there. I'm like Clint Eastwood. I'm the old in Gran Torino. I'm the old man still left in the neighborhood, still slinging from the hip. But and me and Rob worked together for 2 years. 1 year we worked hand in hand together at one site, and it was the best year of my life there. And we this lady worked there. Tracy worked there for numerous years, and then she left to go work at the police station. Big upgrade. Working at the front desk, and but that's another video to flame her. No, I shouldn't do that. But then this year, I had a new boss. Rob left, unfortunately, a few years prior to go join the enemy in Charlestown. No, I'll take that back, because other ears might hear me on your end. And we had a new boss who was interesting in his own right, I'll say, and Rob can agree to a certain bit.
Yeah.
Vinny. And we went over, and he shared a lot of news, which is good, which is something that Rob always wanted, and Ryan and stuff like that. New rules, what he wants to happen at camp with CITs and sites for camp and stuff being bought and actually being productive. And it's there's a lot of good stuff happening, but a lot of stuff is going on the upwards in this neck of the woods. But there's been a lot of stuff going on in our one of our favorite fields and one of our favorite areas, which is the NBA and COVID and all that stuff and games and stuff. And what do you? I have opinions and thoughts, and I'll get to it later. But how would you assess this current season in the NBA with everything going on there?
It's very, very, very different, obviously, without fans.
Yeah.
And definitely a lot of players have a more power in saying where they want to go with trades and free agency. Definitely. Like we all see.
Yeah, how would you though? There's been a lot of COVID cases coming up, and a lot of players having to sit out for numerous days. You see Kevin Durant's been out for numerous days because of that, and James Harden at the beginning of the season, and all sorts of stuff. How would you assess the NBA handling it, and do you think that they should go back to the bubble?
See how it is right now. It doesn't seem too bad, but we did see at the beginning there were some cases breaking out. But a bubble format, I feel, wouldn't be as bad for, say, the playoffs.
Yeah.
To kind of keep everything going, essentially, instead of possibly having an outbreak and then significant players missing out on not playing in the playoffs or the finals per se.
Yeah.
So I would keep it for
now
playoffs.
with the All-Star game coming up soon, within the next probably few weeks. Do you think that they should have that? Because I know that LeBron James and a few of the players were getting a little upset that they were going to continue with it. Do you think they should still have it, even though there's been some cases of COVID recently?
As long as they make sure whoever is in the All-Star game doesn't have it, I don't see an issue with it, essentially. But it is going to be a lot different, say, with like the judges and all that, and no fans.
Hey, listen, if you're making over $10 million a year for most players, if they're all making $10 million a year, and you're just gonna score over 200 points a game, in the game, either playing it or just say, I'm not gonna play it this year. I'm gonna save myself from possibly getting COVID and saving my family, and let someone else who fans get all triggered that don't make the lineup. But it's just, I don't want to make it seem like I'm Laura Ingram saying just shut up and dribble, because I'm not trying to do that and have people get me. But I thought it was just a little silly because someone like LeBron James, yeah, he's one of the famous of all time, but like he's making $30 million a year, and like just say you don't want to play in it. I mean, obviously he's not going to say that, but like if you have a problem, there's no reason just to say, oh, I'm gonna be all upset about it, be a grump and continue doing it. Like he's worth $1 billion. That's ridiculous. But there's also something we had discussed in the NBA recently, or not recently, but when it happened when it happened and then afterwards, between my team, the Rockets, and Brooklyn, and the Wizards, and Indiana and Cleveland, and all the other fucking teams were involved. But it was the James Harden and John Wall trade, and Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
How would you assess that situation? How would you assess now, we're a few months later into the season? How would you assess it's been for the major teams involved?
So I feel as though with the Rockets, they got a steal with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. I feel like they're gonna be a not necessarily a sleeper team, but I feel like they won that Westbrook trade as well with the Wizards. Obviously, he's not looking too good over there.
Yeah,
it seems like Bradley Beal's doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah,
and there's nothing coming out of it essentially. Now with the Nets, it's tough. Yeah. Offensively, they're out of the roof, but they're defensively, something's got to happen over there defensively, because offensively they're a huge threat, but defensively they just don't play it.
Well, the Nets, their bench. I mean, now I'm not Adrian Wojnarowski, whatever the fuck his name is, and I'm not some insider where I know every player on every team, but like personally, I don't see their bench as being that outstanding. So, no, although they might have to load management with Harden and Irving when he's not bitching about all this bullshit, like he always does. It's that's an interesting situation. Granted, when Kevin Durant comes back, they're phenomenal, but I think they need to work on their bench to be significant in the postseason, because it can't be like, see, the thing is, it's similar to Miami in the sense when LeBron was on Miami, where they had LeBron and they had Chris Bosh, and me personally, and Dwayne Wade, where they had three great talents, and the bench wasn't that great. I mean, I was a huge fan of the Birdman and Udo himself, Udonis Haslem, and Shane Battier, and all the other great players, but that was different. But it's interesting. And then you got Washington. That team's got even worse bench than Brooklyn, and I remember seeing constantly, it's a complete troll as well. Russell Westbrook could score 50 points, 25 assists, and 20 rebounds, and they still can lose because their bench sucks. And then you have not John Wall, Bradley Beal, who's like, oh, I want to leave, but then I don't. Then I want to leave, then I don't. And he's trying his best, scoring 30 points, and it's just ridiculous. And then you have Houston, who then has John Wall, who they have great chemistry now that James Harden's out there. And then you have Christian Wood, who gets injured for a few weeks.
That too, yeah.
And then they play a few great games, and they lose a few games. They lose to Charlotte by 20 the other night. How do you lose? You have LaMelo and Terry Rozier, who's and then you have whoever else on the team, Bismack Biyombo, and I feel like
Gordon Hayward.
a few good players are okay, and but I just don't see that. Then most of they play, they lost to another team by like 30, and it's so consistent. And granted, Christian Wood, helps him, but that team's always been, the level playing field team, meaning in the sense that they've always been an even level of talent. But hey, I guess I was wrong. I was a little skeptic with John Wall since he was injured for so long. Now he's on this team. He's doing someone interesting, and they have Oladipo on there. They're saying they potentially might trade him, and I don't want that to happen because he's helped them to a certain bit. Although he hasn't played that much recently because he was injured. So it's interesting, but no, I do have to agree that I definitely think Houston had won that. Plus, like I said, Oladipo is on a 1-year deal left, and then John Wall, I don't know if he's on a 1-year deal, like if he has 1 year left or if he's got a few years left, and they had to.
I think he has a few. I think he has a few. I think they made the trade because their contracts were like essentially the same money wise, so it kind of it
evened out. And I mean, it's gonna be interesting. And it's interesting that with their coach Steven Silas, I mean, he coached in Dallas, and Dallas has been a decent team as of late. Well, this season they've been dog water, as the cool kids say. No, it's interesting, and looking at this, they've kept him. It seems like they have a whole lot of confidence because when JB Bickerstaff and Kevin McHale were in the situation, the 2 years that they started off rough, they were gone faster than someone with different views in Trump's cabinet when he was president. It's interesting. I think they'll do okay. I mean, they definitely have done better than I have thought, but anything can happen. Hopefully he comes back healthy. Personally, I'd like to see him get rid of Eric Gordon, because his contract's massive, and
oh my God, yeah,
he's not that great anymore. He's getting pretty old. Case in point, when they had Ryan Anderson, and Ryan Anderson was garbage, and they were paying him $20+ million a year, and he's now been obscured. He's not even in the NBA anymore. But no, that's really I mean, we talked about Russ, where he went in DC, and I think he's definitely happy being there because now he's got more of the leading position and trying to be in control, though that's Bradley Beal's team forever. What I want to talk about now I don't, it kind of a segment to what I want, a segue, I guess you could say. I don't see the similarity in a sense, but I don't listen to this music. But some big news in the rap industry with the singer Silento, who I'm sure sang the hit song, or the one-hit wonder song, "Watch Me Whip." It was announced that he was charged with murdering his cousin this past weekend. And I don't know if you heard about that in the news or on Twitter.
I think I did, but I think I just kind of brushed it off because I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, no, I read about it, and I'm not a rap fan. I'm more of a 50s to a late 80s fan of rock and roll and stuff like that. But I said that, and I was like, what? Are you kidding me? You murder your cousin. I could see you get in an argument and stream a fight, but you're pulling out a gun or a knife on your cousin and you're killing them, and thinking that's fine. The man's 23 years old, and I found that to be ridiculous. I mean, and I think the man's had some issues since that song came out legally with stuff he's gone into trouble with. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you saw this, but on Twitter he had posted something like a video or a tweet saying, "Watch me low-key murder my cousin next week," and I was like, come again? And now, like you, I just disregard it because I don't listen to that music, and I didn't know who Silent Toe was. And when he sings the song "Watch Me," I thought when he says "Silent Toe," I thought it was silent toes, as in the toes on your feet being silent for some reason. But I don't understand that. Like, why, Rob? Help me try to explain why you would would you murder your cousin?
No, just no.
See now I have a handful of cousins. I'm sure you have many cousins as well, and I've gone. I don't always agree with what they say. I remember when I took one of Ron Madison's classes in high school. It was history of jazz, or it was, and it was in a small fucking broom closet type room, and one of my cousins on my mother's side was in the class, and everyone that cusses talking, and he gets like an angry elf. He's like, when everyone talks and stuff, and he gets like a troll. And my cousin loves to talk. She great person. I love her so much, and just constantly talking. And it always was when he'd always tell her to knock it off. She'd like everyone would get offended, and she'd be like, "Why are you doing this to me? Like, what the hell? Everyone else is talking." And I felt like saying something and getting aggravated and yelling, but I said, "You know what? I'm not gonna do that just because I'm not trying to create controversy." And next thing, and then the class, whatever it ended, but never did I once ever think of murdering my cousin. Not once, but hey, I guess when you got some money, you say, fuck it, let me roll the dice, as they say, and go at it.
So, like, did he say why he did it? Like, was it like some kind of bigger issue, like money, or
like I see, the thing is, I don't even know. I'll look it up quick, but
because it must have been something. I mean, maybe he has anger issues. I don't know, but
the thing is, though, I think what I found out then, though, was I don't know if it was his like attorney or a manager, or maybe said that he has like mental health issues, or mentally he's not all there.
they could just be saying that to kind of downplay it.
Let's check the New York Times real quick. I probably could have pulled it up on my computer, but
No worries.
he fatally shot her.
It was a female.
He fatally, was it? No, I don't know if it was a female. It doesn't say that. Yeah, I just fatally shot. I meant to say it. Let's see. No, it was a guy. Well, New York Times wasn't showing it, but I don't know. I'm sure there was a disagreement or something. That's how it usually always is. And why is it got to be Atlanta? That's where down south, like Washington D.C. and places. You always read about that. Like what happened with the URI men's basketball player over the offseason. He not this past summer, the summer prior, one of the new guys that came. He was near a shootout with his former teammate. But that was definitely interesting seeing in my monologue. When this is up there, there'll be a joke made about that, although it's not that funny, but it's kind of sad. But I'm the edgy type of man. I live on the edge, as Uncle Rob knows, as we like to call him. So who gives a fuck? This when I keep this monologue, Rob, see, when I do this, it takes I spend the entire weekend after I schedule this type of thing with someone, and we get it set and put it set in stone, and I spend the remainder of the evening scouring the news for newsworthy stuff, and I don't care what it is, politics, sports, entertainment, health. I don't care if it's about someone switching teams or anything like that. I will find something to laugh about it. And yeah, it's true, that might not be the greatest thing, and there might be a lot of there might be some PC people out there who get triggered at everything, but who gives a fuck? You gotta laugh at life, and nowadays we're on happy days and happier moments with everything going on. But the Super Bowl was this past weekend. What'd you think about it?
I did not expect a blowout. I'm pretty sure we all didn't expect a blowout, but from what I heard, like obviously the Chiefs had some injuries and COVID cases on the offensive line scenario. So that's why we saw a lot of the, the Tampa Bay defense kind of putting a lot of pressure on Patrick Mahomes getting inside and having him make those bad decisions, in which like he was like pressured a lot, but those throws he was getting off were pretty accurate too.
Like case in point, that throw where he was about 5 inches from the ground, he spirals it sideways for 30 fucking yards. How in the blue hell do you do that?
I don't know, but he has some talent, and that's even I saw like a snippet of them on the bench, Tampa Bay. They were even saying the same thing. Like, how was he able to make a perfect pass in that scenario where he was almost hitting the ground while being pressured? It's unreal.
Not to mention that they had a little incident with one of their coaches before the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
How embarrassing is that, being the assistant coach's son, and you decide to roll the dice and drive while intoxicated, and then you end up hitting two other cars, sending one kid, 5 years old, mind you, to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, and he leaves the scene.
He left the scene?
Well, see, now I don't know if that's true. I was watching during the Super Bowl. I had it on my screen. I was playing 2K21, and then I was on I had it on Discord watching, and then I was watching this live stream. These two comedians I follow, Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer, who I try to model this show after theirs. They were like dual companion having a show for themselves live stream, which is like they get super edgy, and they had Warren Sapp on the show as well, and he mentioned that he left the scene. Now I don't know if that's correct, but that would be even more embarrassing. But it's really sad, on top of Andy Reid not being able to have a double bacon cheeseburger after the game since he lost. Your son gets into a shitty accident and it can't go, is suspended. I mean,
I've heard he had a pretty horrible past too. Like there were scenarios where he has been in trouble with cops, like he had pointed a gun at someone in the past. Or something, yeah. So now, like from hearing this, it's like, are you surprised, really?
It's like Eric Gordon. Are you surprised? Not Eric Gordon. Aaron Gordon, or whatever his name was, the guy who played for the Patriots and then played for Cleveland beforehand, and then he played for the Seahawks and was suspended a bunch of times for drug use.
Oh, Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon. It's like him. Each time he gets in trouble, are you surprised? No, you expect it.
Yeah.
He's. It's just embarrassing. I mean, though, you would think though, like, you're playing, you have a big game coming up. Now, yes, if you want to drink beforehand, that's fine. I have no problem, if you're drinking at night, but you why would you want to risk it? Mere days before one of the biggest games of your life. And then instead of just saying, you know what, I'm going to take an Uber and drive home. Nope, you got to drive home. It's just, I forget who it was. It was some coach a few months ago or a while ago during the summer, that got pulled over for drunk driving. He was like, do you know who I am? I am a world champion. See these rings on my fingers? And it's sad. But another thing happened if I can go back to the NBA real quick. Another thing happened in the NBA. It was between the king himself, LeBron James, and some lady who was staying down. Some not feminist, but the crazy Karen type lady and her husband. He was chirping at LeBron, and LeBron was going back, and she said, "Oh, shut up, bitch," and all this stuff. And
yeah,
I guess she was saying stuff. And when you saw that, what were your thoughts about it?
I was confused at first, but then I'm looking right now to see if I can find the pictures. But I dug deeper because I was trying to figure out what the scenario was.
Yeah,
I can't find it. But so I guess like in the past, that game, her husband said something to LeBron, then LeBron said something, and then she started defending her husband, but then people found the husband's Instagram and saw that he was basically like a LeBron hater.
Yeah, but following him around.
Yeah, in like the context that he would kind of post his pictures in with LeBron seemed kind of, possibly like, maybe a little racist, maybe. So then people were like, oh,
there was one video. I mean, then I did find the account as well, and I saw there a lot of Trump posts supporting him and stuff like that. And there's one post that someone put on Twitter about it, and it has him, and he's jacked up on all sorts of steroids from A to Z with his wife, who looks like she's got a gahunga job done on her nether regions.
Oh my God! Yes, speaking of that,
on the northern slopes, and it zooms in on the picture. And it sees that what he's supporting himself down south is not that big. It's the size of a small pebble.
Yeah, they were saying his wife looked like this from Men in Black. That's like that.
Wanga.
Yeah.
That was great. No, she was. The guy was humongous, but he was definitely a 60, so he definitely was juicing up. That was about as embarrassing as Jose Canseco at Rough and Rowdy this past weekend as well. I don't know if you caught that. The Barstool boxing that they did, the Rough and Rowdy, and a former MLB player, Jose Canseco, fought this intern, Billy Football, at the fight, and Jose was just going at Barstool the entire weekend, saying how shitty they were and how fucking pathetic they were and how ridiculous and how lame they are. And they're fighting. And Jose Canseco is like 6'5" and 275, so he's humongous, and I'm sure he's juiced in his life. Philly football is a small guy. Probably he's the same height, just about 100 pounds less. And Jose Canseco gets knocked out in the first round, slumped, and he's in the corner, like in a fetal position, like Wes, our friend from camp. And they're all laughing at Jose Canseco, and they're all accusing Jose Canseco of throwing it and diving during the fight. But it's just embarrassing that this guy would do this to LeBron, just follow him around constantly and just chirp at him. And LeBron loved it. He was loving it, and it was definitely something. Some big news though in the sports video game world, and we talk a lot on occasion of I ask opinion of people who I hold near to myself, and I carry their opinion heavily, like yourself and a few others, and we talk often, should I buy 2K and this game and that game, and EA Sports announced that they're coming back with a college football game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't believe it's going to be this. I was reading up on when I was putting this down in my notes that it's going to be different than NCAA 12 or 13, 14, whatever it might be. It's going to be a little different. When you read the news, what were your thoughts when you heard about it?
I thought it's pretty good because I know a lot of people wanted it back.
Oh yeah.
But obviously, I don't think they're gonna put the names of the actual players. Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot of John Smiths and out
and John there. Doe's and Roger. I don't know, but no, yeah, it's. I mean, those. I mean, I only played I think 2014. But I loved it. I liked when they had NCAA 14. I liked playing the career mode and being able to put where your school and whatnot, and being able to advance and acquire all these attributes, and then you field general, then hometown name or hero, whatever it was, and it was really really great, and the features and stuff. And fortunately, that's lacking in Madden. But no, I'm looking forward to doing it finally. Although it's unfortunate that it took this long, and that they have to make it. They're trying their best to make it as realistic as they can without having names, because they don't want to give these college players any sort of money. But I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it'll be a while till it comes out, but I'm looking forward to buying it. It'll surely be interesting. Hopefully it's a mainstay for future years to come. What I would like though is to bring back NCAA basketball video game, because I never got into it. I know a family friend had the one with Blake Griffin on it, 2008, or 2009, whatever it was, which was probably I think the last one that they came out with. I never got to play it, so I'm looking forward to having that chance to do that. But because NBA 2K is lacking in the career mode where you have playing the college, but no, it's definitely interesting, and I'm looking forward to doing this. But they have to these games like NBA at one point that game was very very good, and then it just dropped off because it's so unrealistic, and like the career modes and stuff, not to mention all the other stuff. And I hate how it's just so many things, and I could have a whole nother podcast just about sports games, and it's unrealistic. And they have the same schools, Gonzaga, Michigan State, UCLA, Florida, Oklahoma, the same teams, and the same ones for Madden, where you get drafted to and you get choose to which college you go to, and it's fake people, and the draft class isn't the same. And it's ridiculous, but trying their best, and hopefully it would be great. What we had mentioned during this recording, the first recording, I think it was that. Yeah. No, it wasn't you. It was another one I recorded a few weeks later in June. But now we have another man in charge, another man leading this country, another man at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I know the your lovely assistant that helped you set up the system is definitely, I'm sure, proud of that achievement.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna say I'm over the moon, because I don't follow politics that much. Although the last 5 years you've had to have followed politics, because now everything's turned to a political position. But no, it's been me personally. I've enjoyed it. He's done a lot, Rathergate, as he has promised and stuff. And a diverse cabinet, no racist people in his cabinet. It's just Gina Raimondo, whenever she gets confirmed in the Senate hearing, is going to be going as Secretary of Commerce, which a lot of people on Rhode Island who are Republicans hate that, and Democrats as well. But your opinion, your thoughts on, and your vantage point on how Biden's done so far in the first whatever is few weeks of or month of being in charge.
I really haven't kept that many tabs on it, so I'm not too sure, but I know he's been signing a lot of things into office, which has been good. And I know he something with the stimulus plan as
Oh yeah, yeah,
well that passed as well, so that's
yeah.
definitely going to be good. But hopefully, he does what he promised he was
Yeah.
going to do. Because if not, then it's going to look bad on his
Oh
end and
yeah,
possibly a re-election. If
yeah,
but only time will tell.
yeah.
Essentially,
I mean, he's definitely trying to, but like any other situation in that, obviously you're gonna. And I'm no Chuck Todd out here or Rachel Maddow. Um, but obviously you're gonna have give and take, and it's gonna be hard to get stuff out, especially now that Trump lost and he's might get banned for life and in jail with the impeachment trial happening right now, or second one. But a lot of his cronies and ass munchers who sucked them off for everything they could, they're gonna do all they can to prevent everything that he tries to get through. And thankfully the $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan went through to combat this and help. And it's just and there's been so much bullshit with that and everyone fighting. And he rejoined the Paris Accord agreement. And Ted Cruz, who's the biggest, I don't like using the word, but you can guess what type of word I would use to call him. And he's like, oh yeah, it's pretty pathetic that a president cares more about Pittsburgh than the United States. I'm like, Pittsburgh, first of all, it's the Paris Accord agreement. Pittsburgh's in the United States, not in Paris, France, you dumbass. But you see what these people getting confirmed to be in his cabinet, which is very diverse in a sense. And it's the same people denying it and saying no to it. A lot of dumbasses who are pro-Trump supporters. And it's definitely interesting. He's trying his best, and hopefully he can get 100 million vaccines out in his first 100 days. But if he doesn't, because he really promised on that and flexed about that, trying to get that out in the first 100 days. And if he doesn't, and Dr. Tony Fauci, who's I didn't know is a big fan of Tom Brady and rooted for him in the Super Bowl, said, it's very popular. Hi, I'm Dr. Tony Fauci, and
you kind of sound like him.
You can do that. You definitely can do that. It's gonna be possible. We just gotta work really hard. And then you have people like Laura Ingraham and all these people, Sean Hannity, who deny it. And then you have Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's a big embarrassment, saying how the vaccine's fake. And I don't know if you know who RFK Jr. is or have heard how he talks, but I do a pretty good impression. But hopefully it works and we get that. But that's enough bullshit about politics. I try my best to talk a little bit about it, but not too much. But speaking of the Super Bowl, Tom Brady has now won his 7th Super Bowl, another MVP. What does this do to claim his spot as the greatest of all time?
It definitely puts him over the top. So it's like he already had a good enough resume.
Yeah.
But now it's just like overachieving it and making it harder to beat, which is like crazy. It's like you didn't need it, but
you didn't need it. Well, that's like in the press conferences leading up to it. There's a lot. He was always answering, "Oh, this one's the same as the other 9 appearances I've had in the Super Bowl, and this one's okay." And it's very calm when he was doing his interview with Jim Nantz when he won the Super Bowl as the MVP. I was on another note, I was really disappointed he didn't make out with his son after he won the Super Bowl, as he always does, where he locks lips on it like he's a leech on a foot. But I have to say, in terms of greatest of all time, I'll give you this. Who though in all of sports is to you the greatest of all time? I'll say Tom Brady is one. Michael Jordan, another one. Another suggestion. The Bill Russell, or Skyhook man himself, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
For me personally, I'm going to say Michael Jordan, only because I have a bigger connection to basketball than football. But Bill Russell is also a good one, not only because of the 11 rings, but because he played in such a diverse era, with segregation and all that. So it was a lot tougher for him to play in that era. So I give him a lot of credit for playing in that. But, it's all like...
It's all different.
Yeah, it's all different.
Yeah, I think, though, I know Tony Dungy had replied to some tweet saying that someone had said that Tom Brady was the greatest of all time in all of sports, and Tony Dungy had said the greatest of all time. He's great and all, but he's not the best one. You see Bill Russell, 11 titles in 13 years, MVPs, NCAA championship, Olympics, winning that, and in Game 7s he's undefeated in it. So it's hard because and people say it, and I don't really like having that conversation only because, everyone, the situation is different for everyone. I mean, like you said, Bill Russell, segregation. The league was different in the 50s and 60s. You only had 6 teams, and all the other guys, were white, and they were 6 and shorter, and the rules were different. Michael Jordan, the talent was different. I mean, he was a completely different breed. Then you have now Tom Brady. The NFL is completely different compared, and the NBA nowadays is different. So it's really different. And for their time, they are the greatest. And I think there's different reasons that separate them from the most. But the Super Bowl, losing it though for Patrick Mahomes, what does it do for himself and for his race to become one of the greatest of all time? Does it affect him greatly, or is it just he still has time to do it?
He has plenty of time. It's only his 3rd year,
Yeah.
and he can learn from it too.
Oh yeah,
which is like another big thing. So now we can kind of just sit back and just soak it all in and see, just get ready for the next one.
I read this thing which was interesting. It was a comparison between Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, and it said they both lost the first year in the rookie season in the playoffs. Then the second year they won a Super Bowl, and the third year they lost in the playoffs in the Super Bowl again, or whatever it was. And I thought that was really interesting. But it'll be really interesting to see how it rebounds from this. Although what he said afterwards, he's a respectable guy, and his brother, especially Jackson Mahomes, has nothing to worry about because he'll still be able to live off of his salary for years and years and years. And I God bless him. God bless him for wanting to make a career out of shaking his ass for middle school girls on TikTok. Not my lane. I don't float on that side of the prime meridian, as they say. But God bless him, and great going for it. What I really like though on social media about that whole situation is that Tom Brady's parents met with Patrick Mahomes' mother afterwards. They talked for a bit of time about the whole experience and what it was like, and what it feels like to lose a Super Bowl in a situation like this. And they both had respect and said how both sides are very nice, and I enjoy talking to them. They're so kind and whatnot. But he's got a lot to come with. What I'm really happy about though is Shady Man himself, LaShawn McCoy, winning his 2nd Super Bowl in a row and not playing a single down in both of them.
I saw that.
He set his career path onto going to the Super Bowl. I mean, going to the Hall of Fame, because he has done something that very few are able to do. And God bless him. But I think there's someone else who was in that category. I forget. No, maybe not. No. But it's also kind of funny. Someone said that Antonio Brown won a Super Bowl before the Steelers did recently.
Yeah.
And I was laughing at that because and then of course it was so stupid because people all over Facebook were like, this is a stupid, can we stop talking about this now? And talking about how aggressive the NFL is and how rapists and murderers are in it, and you have people like AB. I'm like, really, come on now. These people have done something that your fat ass will never be able to fucking do in your life. So no need to stop. But yeah, there's some pretty fucking weird people in it, and psychotic people like Antonio Brown. But I mean, these guys, come on, the best athletes in the world, and they just won the biggest game in their career, the highlight of their life. So give it a break. But that's not that. Now what I want to do is go to the video section. Now, last time I tried to play videos and get your reaction, it didn't work, and the audio was working. Now I have fixed that to where now I can turn on the sound beforehand. At least I'll try to. And there's some videos that I played before, but I'll try again. But there are also some new videos that I found in the last few days, newer ones, just for this episode that you'll love, I know for a fact. But so let's go to share screen. Let's go to Google Chrome. Whoopsies. Nope, share sound. I want to turn that on. So I have these videos that I thought were funny. Some of them crossed the line a little bit. But fuck it, who cares? I mean, this is my podcast. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, and what I find is funny. And I know for a damn fucking fact, my brother from another mother himself, Robert Cruz, shares some of the same humor as I do in certain stuff, and that's where a lot of the basis of our conversations at camp were about. But without further ado, let's play this video. So this is one of the videos, the first few videos I played when we first recorded on the very debut episode, season premiere, with Rob. This guy's name is what's his name? Joe. His name is Joe. He's a carpenter, sort of handyman person. I found this on this podcast I listened to or watch called Your Mom's House with Christina Przinski or Christina Pierce, she goes, and Tom Segura, comedy married couple. And this guy was at a gym, and he saw this girl working out. Beautiful girl, according to him. He paid so much attention to her that he found out who she was by the sign-in sheet. He's working out. He goes outside. He's like, "Hey, think you're attractive, beautiful. I think I would really love it if I could take you out to eat one night on a date." She's okay, that's fine. Didn't really know who he was. He's like, "Can I have your number?" And she goes, "You know what? I don't really feel like giving it out to you, so I'll take your number." He takes her phone, puts it in. And while he's putting it in, he presses the phone, the little phone icon next to the number, so it calls it. But he calls it through her phone, so when it rings on his phone, he ends the phone call, but has it saved in his contacts. So he now has it whenever he wants. He sends her this video, and this is what it was. Then just when I play it, just tell me if you can hear it.
Good morning, Julia.
I can
It's
hear
me,
it.
Joe. Just wanted to say hi. Wish you a great day. Tell you that meeting you yesterday and getting a look at you was probably one of the greatest moments of my life. You were so beautiful. You don't know how beautiful you are to me. I mean, just, you're gorgeous. You're precious. And but it's been sitting in my mind when you said to me you want to go back with your ex-boyfriend. Please erase him from your memory. Don't ever go back in the past. I know, because I've been there. And I understand when, you're trying to find somebody and you go on dates and nothing compares to your ex. But there is that better person out there. And Julia, I promise you it is me. I will love you like you've never been loved before. I will cherish you. I'll make you feel like a woman, a real woman. And believe me, after you experience me, you won't even know who your ex-boyfriend is.
Oh shit!
So, open up your heart to me in your arms.
That's his third fan. That's his third fan on the wall.
Let's-
If you see right there, there's one there. Then you go back a little bit, and he's got two in there. He's got two in there in his kitchen, and he's got another one in here.
Oh yeah.
Like you never been a woman, a real woman. And believe me, after you experience me, you won't even know who your ex-boyfriend is.
Oh shit!
So, open up your heart to me in your arms. Let's go full throttle.
Oh, full throttle.
Oh,
I can see me falling in love with you.
Oh no.
I don't know, I just looked in your eyes and I just melt. Anyhow, I'm heading off to work. This is my cute little home. Everything you see behind me, I built everything. Every square inch, from crown molding to chair rail to floors to lighting to plumbing,
Oh shit!
doors, windows. So this is the type of guy you're getting. I'm a very handy guy.
Oh.
And, I'd love to build you whatever you want. You're a sweetheart. So I hope this video doesn't scare you, but that's how I feel. I just want you to know that.
Here it comes. Here comes the greatest part at
Okay?
the end.
And I look forward going out to dinner with you. So let's make it happen.
Here it comes.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
Oh shit! So, yeah, and I'll get your opinion in a few seconds. But so he sent this to her, thinking that's normal, and he sent it to her, and then there's another one he sent afterwards, like later down the road, and then he worded that one away, like, "Oh, hey there, my beautiful girlfriend," or something like that. It made it seem like they're dating. I don't think they never went out to eat, and I think after she got the second one, she's like, "Yeah, this guy is pretty fucking scary," and just blocked him and got rid of him. And the lady who he sent this to went on the podcast I mentioned, Your Mom's House, a great podcast, by the way, on YouTube and all other places. She explained this whole thing and it was wild. So, saying as though you've been dating a girl, the girl that, lovely person, although I met her once, helped you set this situation out, and you've been going with her for a while, I'm assuming. Now, I know, you did stuff differently, when you asked her out, and this video didn't exist then, I'm sure. But if you were to go back, is this how you would have operated in asking her out to be
No.
your girlfriend? No, why not? I mean, this seems like a logical thing to do. Why not? Why not? Come on, explain.
It's kind of creepy.
I don't know how you would assess it, but no, I think at first, I've seen this video numerous times now. How would you assess, like, when I saw this, when I still see this, at first I think it started out fine, complimenting her and saying how attractive she was, and saying, "Oh, I'd like to go out with you," and I think it's a bad idea to go back to your ex because it's never a great option. then after that, it started to go downhill
Yeah.
fast. And
I see where you're coming from. Yeah, at first it's like, oh yeah, whatever. And then like, all right.
see, I think, don't get me wrong, like I think this, like I'm a sick person mentally, and what I think is funny, I think it is sometimes sick, but I think it's only funny the fact that like how he delivers it is, just completely out there and not the normal at all. And to think it is funny. He's got a lot of confidence. He's got big balls to be able to think this is perfectly fine. And even though he says, "Oh, I hope this didn't freak you out," but still,
No,
send
it's
it.
probably did.
Good for him to send out a 2-minute video saying this, walking around. I like how he did the portrait look. That was very grand. Not doing it the other way, the normal way for YouTube. This is that way, which is even better. Out of 10 on the cool guy scale, how would you rate him? 0 being not cool at all, 10 being the coolest guy ever.
I'll give him a 6.
A 6. Okay, I would have to agree with you. My last episode I did with my friend Brennan Doherty last Wednesday, as I always do on Wednesdays, I said the same thing. I think mine would only be that high, only because I'd be like a 5.5, 6, maybe 6.5, only because the confidence he has in doing this and being direct and to the point.
That's why I was gonna say his confidence.
Yes,
because that takes some balls.
See, now I can joke around and say all this stuff about my hopes and tribulations and dreams and all that stuff of being with the other group, but never do I have this sort of confidence right at the gate saying this, like, hey, listen, I'm gonna take you out to eat. I think you're attractive. Going with your ex-boyfriend is stupid. I think you're beautiful. I made this all by myself, and this is what I offer, and I'll make you anything. And then to kiss afterwards, send a kiss, and then say "ciao, baby" is you gotta have some pretty fucking balls to big ballers to do that. But good for him. This next video is another one I played last time in advance. This is a little bit more out there than this one. Same type of thing. The next video is the same from the same podcast that they showed. He's on TikTok, but so basically this his name is Steve. I played this before on this episode with you, another episode with you, Rob, for the viewers out there wondering. And his name is Steve. He's in the 60s. He's a truck driver in the Ohio area, and he's on TikTok. And his thing is, on TikTok, he says, Good morning, my kings and queens above 18. You're looking beautiful this morning. Get up and start that day. Kick your legs off the edge of the bedding. Get running. I'll get breakfast ready for you and a hot cup of coffee, and you get in that shower, a nice warm shower, and we'll see each other later. You're looking beautiful, my queens. He does that. He has over 100,000 views or likes. He's got thousands, like I said, over 100,000, I think, views or likes, numerous followers, and he does this. And I'll describe after, but this is a great video.
Time to wake up, my queen. Come on, my queen above 18. Open them beautiful eyes. There you go. You are so beautiful. I just love my queen above 18. Well, good morning. All right, my queen. I'll go down and put your breakfast on. I'll get you some nice hot cup of coffee. You go take...
Wait a minute. I'll get you some nice cup of coffee. Hold on, that's not properly grammatically correct.
Take your shower and I'll meet you in the kitchen. I love you too, my queen above 18. I will see you in a little bit. Yes, you look beautiful.
I like the pause.
All right, I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Great POV angle, I think. It really shows his weight and his no neck and his gross body hair. But basically, like his name is Steve, he's a truck driver. He has this big following on TikTok, and he was also played on the podcast. The lady who is one of the co-hosts, Christina P., she's on TikTok, and she doesn't go for the stuff I'm sure your girlfriends see or I see or you see, where it's a girl with a boyfriend and doing all this reaction and put your fingers up, boyfriend dating edition and all this stuff and dancing, all these stuff. And she does more of the edgy stuff like this, and she plays him on there and makes fun of him. And they think it's funny, but like similar to myself, it's so uncomfortable. And I play this to my family, and my mother gave me an earful about that, thinking it was funny. But the thing is, I'm not saying it's in general funny. I think it's just funny that people like himself think it's funny. or he thinks it's okay and normal, and it's so out there and ridiculous and disgusting and repulsive. And one video he actually did is someone on TikTok, which I'm sure you're seeing, where you can post a video where you're reacting to a comment above you, and someone said, I feel uncomfy, and he's like, what does this person mean by uncomfy? Explain. And I said in the comment section, I said, so this person feels uncomfy, meaning when a 65-year-old man asks young girls above 18 for weird, gross, or lewd photos or videos, and it's gross. And then he made a video replying back to my comment saying, this guy says this, and I'm asking for all this stuff, and he must have pornography and pornographic thoughts on his mind. This guy's a weird fuck. I'm like, what do you mean? How am I the weird fuck? You're asking for this stuff. And when he first was making videos, it started off as just like this. Good morning. I like them booby videos. Let them boobies hang. I like that no bra look. And I was like, you're kidding me. And then he posted one a few weeks ago before I took it down. He's like, you can all do the King Challenge, which is just taking a nice white tight t-shirt, no bra, let them boobies hang. Let me see them. I'll hang over. And he's created merch about this. It's black sweatshirts, black pants, black tank tops, both white and black, hats that say K and Q over here, Kings and Queens above 18 down below. And personally, I think when he started this, he got in trouble at first, just letting anyone do it. Then he started saying, you got to be 18 to do this, because I've gotten in trouble before. And if you're not 18, I might not find you at first. You may sneak by at first, but when I do find you, I'll block you and delete you. Which is funny because I forgot that, a user can delete someone off of TikTok completely. But what are your thoughts on this? Would you send this in the morning to your lady friend?
No.
No?
No.
What are your thoughts on this?
You know how I said the other one was creepy?
Yes.
Yeah. This one makes the other one look not as bad at all.
No, it's just you gave the other guy a 6 out of 10. Out of the cool guy scale, 0 to 10. What would you give this guy?
1.
1. Now, the prior weeks, people have given him 5s and 6s and 1. I'm not surprised. I would expect that. I would agree with you, but some of the other guy, this guy's got a hell of a lot of confidence, thinking that this can go by fine and there's no problem. I would give him a 4.5, maybe 5, just because of that. But normally, I would agree with you with that. Do I play the next ones? I might skip the next ones. I'll play a little bit of this one.
Oh no.
But where's the girl? Now we can do this the easy way or my way. Yeah, you want to start talking or should I start chlorine? Because these bad boys will no. But these bad boys love the taste of blood. Now, start talking with the mutant or I will start chlorine. And trust me, I will. Now, will I tell me? Or will these tell me? Good. There.
Hey, if you look back for a few seconds, watch.
Or
Wait a
will
second.
these
And he zooms in close.
Thank you.
I really like the Michael Strahan look he's got with the space between his teeth.
Good. There.
Oh yeah.
Really? 5.
Great acting right here.
Really? 5 guys with guns. There's a
And no
match
match for the claws.
Wolverine claws.
Great rule of thirds right here. For those who are film people, really off camera.
Let's try this again, shall we? Where's the girl? Or the claws will make you tell. You don't believe me?
I like the jabs.
Think I'm joking?
He's really into it.
Oh yeah, see, look at the nice space. See, the thing is, this video. This guy, his name is Haig. He's from Australia, so that's the accent. And he lives in Australia. And he's on YouTube. His channel is skits, cartoons. And he's on TikTok. There's a lot of cosplay, dressing up as characters he's made up, or people like the Flash, Wolverine, Wombat-Reen, Elvis, which is another video that I'm not going to play. It's a combination of Elvis and Wolverine. And he loves doing this stuff. His favorite's this one. He's on TikTok. He was doing stuff like that, and he stopped though before the election for his mental health and to not over stress. And then he did again when Biden was elected and then stopped. He's like, I'm taking a break till March because for my mental health and not stressing out. And he does a lot of this stuff. And when he first doing, because this is a step up, just to let you know, from when he first started. When I saw his first video, he had a black muscle shirt on, black pants, spiked his hair up with so much gel, he looked like Wolverine. And he had fake like plastic claws that weren't like this. And he's improved. Scale 1 to 10, how cool is this guy?
Give him a 9.5.
A 9.5. Why so high?
I like his confidence and like his content seems genuine.
Yes, and I do enjoy it. And I did feel bad though when he was stopping to take a break for mental health reasons and stuff, and that's nothing to joke about at all, really. But I think he's a grand guy, and I really enjoy his content. My family loves it too. But so great. This next guy, he shares a name with you. Although he shares a name, you're the only big Rob that's number one.
That's right.
So this guy's a YouTuber. He hasn't posted in a few years. He does a lot of UFC food review type videos, and
it's
this video.
What up, YouTube?
Well, you might want to turn the volume up a little bit because he does talk quiet and low. Maybe to your max, I don't know.
What up, YouTube? It's Big Rob. Bitches be stopping on.
Listen to the bar he spits. He's like a F-22 himself.
What up,
Oh
YouTube?
no.
It's Big Rob. Bitches be stopping on mine now.
Oh.
Back here again. We're gonna do a review.
Review?
Drink review.
A drink review.
I've had this drink before.
Wait, hold on. This can't be a drink review. You've already had the drink before, according to him.
But I figured I review it to let others know what I think about it. So, Mountain Dew USA. It's actually really good.
It's actually really good.
It's 3 flavors.
3
collided
flavors.
together. Code Red, Ride Out, and Voidage. So, pop this baby. Here we go. Like I said, I've tasted this before, but
Good. Thanks for letting us
I can
know.
tell you, like, what I like about it and stuff. So here we go. Pinky up.
He's guzzling it down. Oh no.
Oh.
Look.
It's fucking delicious.
It's fucking delicious.
Like I said, it's one of my faves. It's like, it's a fruity flavor.
It's a fruity flavor.
Fucking good.
Fucking good.
Fucking bang. I have another taste.
Oh, another taste.
Pinky up.
Oh, the lips. Looking at the lips. He got that good gawk.
But yeah, I fucking love it.
For a second, now when I first saw this video the first time, I thought it was our pal Swap Meet himself because it looked just like him.
Oh yeah.
With the receding hairline, very thin and very bad neck beard. This guy is so cool and he's so amazing. There's another video in here that I'll play of him. Out of 10, how would you rate him on the cool guy scale?
An 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
But that's let's see. We'll play this one. Here's one.
Boy, Anthony must have really gotten under you.
Uncle Junior Soprano. So if you don't know who Junior Soprano is, he is from the show Sopranos, played by Dominic K. He is the best humor everywhere. It's really R-rated, but fuck it, I'll just delete it from
Your collar. Admit it. You're looking at the crackers Coglione for putting you in here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I'm playing shortstop for the Mets.
We want Johnny Stack. But more than him, we want Mangano and Teresi.
I want to fuck Angie Dickinson. See who gets lucky first. You were gone a long time. How many White Castle? I want to fuck Angie Dickinson. See who gets lucky first. You were gone a long time. How many White Castle did you have?
I didn't, I swear.
I can smell them. A Chinaman goes to see the eye doctor.
Oh,
After the
no.
exam, the doctor says, I know why you're having trouble. The Chinaman says, why? Doctor says, you have a cataract. The Chinaman says, No, I have a Lincoln Continental. You don't get it?
I get it. He drives a Lincoln. What?
Sad day.
Mm-hmm. Kid was always a dumb fuck, though, wasn't he? Didn't he almost drown in 3 inches of water?
The penguin exhibit.
You're not sick, but testing shows REM-wise you have 40 arousals per hour.
More since I met you. Such a thing to say.
Oh, a flirt. Why didn't you just call a plumber?
With what? My fucking toes? I've been busy. You all right? Oh, I had a tappage. Fucking house arrest. Federal marshals are so far up my ass I can taste Brill cream.
What are you saying? I got another uncle?
Sharp as a fucking cue ball. Yeah, I'm saying.
Sam. Junior Soprano. Here you go, sir.
Go shit in your hat.
Uncle June, stop. Thank you, officers. Thank you.
Prosecution outlined how accounting practices
fuck?
commonly
What?
suspected did not
What
follow
kind of
the
likeness is that?
procedure.
If they were great artists, they'll be in a museum.
Evidence today may signal at least one
And fucking fodder for cartoonists now?
push this case.
Located at 872 is I.
Yeah. Say 1.5. What'd I tell you?
250.
This is great.
Corrado, don't you have nothing?
You can make a hand turkey.
For Christmas? Fucking idiot.
Oh.
For Christmas? Fucking idiot.
Sisters, cunt!
Here it is. I fucking had it.
For what?
Everything. Did you offer my nephew something?
I'm registering yours. Not made.
Did you offer him an aspirin? Cunt. You hear about the Chinese?
That's
Broad.
You look better, too.
If you're gonna lie to me, tell me there's a broad waiting in the car wants to tongue my balls. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
But he's just the best there is on that show, and he's my favorite. Here's another great meme.
I got this new anime plot. Basically, there's this high school girl, except she's got huge boobs. I mean, some serious hunkers. A real setup of dunkers. Packing some Doban hunkeros. Massive da hunka bankaloos. Big old Tanahangara cougars. What happens next? Transfer student shows up one day with even bigger Bankhanaga hoogs. Humongous hungalamga no logangas.
You've reached the national headquarters of the Catholic Church. No one is available to take your call. If you'd like to report sexual abuse...
Damn, there's got to be somebody we can call for an exorcism.
You
is a bitch!
May white God bless you, Robert. I came as fast as I could.
So this is the plan, Uncle Ruckus.
Let's get this party started.
You got bad credit, Robert.
Removing an evil spirit from a was as hard as removing the stank from a hunk of shit. We must use these tools that the great God has given us to fight. A whip, a noose, a nightstick, a branding iron. These things strike fear into a heart. A job application. Avoid conversation with the will lie. The will make excuses. He will use words he don't really know. If he gets really desperate, he may start to rap or dance.
You all testicles and no shaft.
Oh,
What
yeah.
happened to your shaft,
There is
Robert?
powerful at work here.
Who in the hell are you?
My name is Reverend Father Uncle Ruckus. No relation. In the name of white Jesus and all great white men who have come thereafter, I command our soul back to the depths of hell.
Is that all you got?
That's just the tip of this iceberg. Read! Read! Now, Robert, now! Just with anything. Come on, everybody join in. Use your powerful hands. Let's whoop this ass. Repeat after me the holy phrase. Get your black ass out of here. Get your black ass out of here. Yeah. Take that, you black ass. Get your black ass out of here. Get your black ass out of here. Keep going.
So, for those that don't know, Uncle Ruckus is very racist, and I have to do a leaving out for this part. But I got into the show because of you and Ryan. Ryan Sweet is his name for those who are viewing and listening. And the show called The Boondocks, and it's just this man is so absurd and ridiculous and off-colored and ridiculous that it's just so funny. You shouldn't laugh because it's ridiculous and awful, but it's just.
You should laugh.
Yes.
It's really like this show would not survive today.
Oh no,
but back then
it would not.
Back then, it's hilarious. It's so good.
There was one thing that I hold dear to me in a relationship I have with this show, and when I kind of got into it was one night. I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but I partook in some substance. And I was watching TV late at night, and next thing I know, it took it at 10 o'clock. Then about 2 a.m., the lights are still on in my house. The music's blasting my Alexa. The dog's in the corner. I'm face planting on the fucking couch. And my dog's like, oh, I just want to go to bed. And what's on? The Boondocks. And at the store, it's the scene in the show. I haven't seen the episode, but where they're having the shoot up at the convenience store. And or whatever it is, and I got into it, and I told you about it, and this was the greatest thing ever. And this next one is one of the great scenes as well.
I wake up at 4:45 in the a.m. every morning. That's about 12 hours before my wake up. I am a very spiritual person. I start each day by thanking the white man for the sunrise, for the land I walk on, for the air I breathe. I also apologize for Lord knows they ain't gonna apologize for themselves. I am not black, nor do I consider myself to be black. Many people mistake me for being because they don't know that I am currently living with the heartbreak of revitiligo. That's a skin condition that's the opposite of what Michael Jackson's got. Every morning I apply this topical ointment made of bleach and sulfur. I like to think it works. Luckily, I hadn't gotten much darker in the last few years. As you can see here, I enjoy building small shrines to certain special white people who are important in my life. This one here is dedicated to John Wayne, great white man. Didn't take no shit from Indians nor Mexicans. And this one here is for George Bush the First. Loved him. Now this one here is dedicated to the most soulful soul singer to ever live. Yeah, I work about 32 jobs over the course of a week. I think it's interesting I got 32 jobs and most say they can't find one.
So the thing is, Uncle Ruckus is just the guy who voiced it was phenomenal, and it just the stuff they come out with him is, like I said, and I access. I'm not racist, nor will I ever be. And some of the stuff is really awful, but back when it was doing it, it was somewhat acceptable, especially on a TV show. I guess I don't know. It's a cartoon, so you can get away with a lot of stuff there, but you almost have to laugh because it's so absurd and ridiculous that it's there. But this guy on the cool guy scale gets a 12 out of 10 for me. There's no ifs, ands, or but about it. It would be a 15 if he weren't as out there as he was. That's the end of the video section. I have a few more things I want to talk about, then I'll end it because I don't want to prevent you from doing anything that you had planned on doing. One of your favorite players of all time, basketball players, Jaylen Brown, has been playing incredible this season, extremely well. He had his doubters, but he has been great. Do you think he has a chance of winning MVP?
Not well. I could see an argument for MVP. I do love Jaylen Brown a lot. I really do. I feel as though he might have been robbed of the most improved player last year, but I also feel like he possibly could win it this year.
Yeah.
Also, he also got robbed of being an all-star last year as well, I also do believe. But he's a phenomenal player. He really has grown into a really great player.
This was fun, Rob. I thank you for coming on. I know this was you a little longer than we did before, and I know you're busy, and you're on location at other places, so you definitely got a busy time. So I won't hold you any longer. But
You're fine.
as I said before, this means more to me than I'm sure you know, but I'm sure you understand the sense. And I appreciate greatly that you took the time out of your day to help me last minute to do this. Because other people who were scheduled for this time, because I was going to have you on again later down the road with Ryan, when he was coming out a second time in the second season in a few months. But I greatly appreciate that you came on and helped me out and filled in for other people, and it means more to me than you know. It's great, and I'm happy this episode was this long. And eventually, as this goes on and on, I won't be talking as fast and speeding through things. But as I said at the beginning, for those who are viewing this on YouTube, this will be up tomorrow, Thursday at 9 a.m. Hopefully, if all goes well editing it. It'll be on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button, because this takes a lot to put through, and I know a lot of people, when I put stuff on my stories, promoting this on Instagram or YouTube or YouTube links, Spotify links, SoundCloud, whatever it may be. And I know a lot of people just skip through it to get away with it because, I don't have humongous clout like Joe Rogan or people like that have big time viewership. But it takes a lot of work, and I enjoy it. It's been one of the greatest things ever. I mean, besides working with Rob and working at the camp, this has been one of my favorite things, the most fun things I've ever done in my life, and up to this point, especially during COVID. But hit that like button. That means a lot. It tells me that you enjoy my stuff. Hit the subscribe button so you can stay in tune, turn notifications, post notifications, so you know when stuff is updated if you're subscribed. But you have to fucking subscribe, because this is great stuff. And why wouldn't you do this? Where else can you get as edgy content as you can without getting in real trouble compared to the IST meme show with motherfucking Nolan Carr? But yeah, and turn on post notifications so you know when stuff is updated, and share with your friends and family. Have them share with their friends and family so you can grow this, because I can only grow this as much as I can, and with your help, I can really improve this. If you're listening to this on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, click that little heart button if that's available, or if it's just the like button, hit the follow or subscribe, whatever it may be for you. Turn post notifications to the little bell button, because that helps notify yourself when you're doing. But like I said before, you got to subscribe and share with your friends and family as well, because that really helps as well. And also, what I want to mention, I didn't mention in the last episode, but if you can, and there's a link for the Anchor FM where you can listen to it. And there's a little donation section. Now, obviously, like I said before, I'm not that big. And obviously, people are suffering, and people out of jobs, family and friends that you may know, and you may have lost loved ones, so money may be tight. But if you can donate anything you can, I greatly appreciate it on Anchor FM. And that helps the show get on, helps the show survive. If you can't, oh well, if you can, that's great. But as I said, help share and stuff. But from what I want to end with is this from everyone here at ITM Studios, myself, and from Big Rob himself. I want to thank you for tuning in for another edition of this show. Catch us next week for another edition. In the immortal words of Johnny Carson, I wish you all farewell and a heartfelt good night. Take care.